What is up, my dude and dudettes, and welcome back to TellerTube. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the subreddit r/choosingbeggars. If you're new to my channel, be sure to subscribe so you can stay up to date with my latest videos. And with that being said, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Free coffee not good enough for a choosing beggar. A company that makes non-dairy milk alternative is doing a big PR push in my city. A part of this was a small pop-up offering free coffee or hot chocolate made using their product, plus stickers, badges, etc. It's January in a city center, so free hot drinks are always going to be popular. I joined the queue, and the woman in front of me was our choosing beggar. Her first complaint was that she had to queue. She was loudly grumbling about it to those around her, none of whom wanted to join in and mostly ignored her. When she got to the front, after a painful 3 minutes of queuing, this is how the conversation went. Choosing beggar. Latte. Free coffee person. Oh, I'm so sorry, we just have filter coffee or hot chocolate and 4 types of insert brand milk for you to choose from to have in it. Points to clear and obvious coffee pots all around her. I don't want filter coffee, I want a latte. I'm sorry, we don't have any way of making you a latte. Again points to obvious lack of equipment to prepare a latte. Ugh. I just want a latte, okay? At this point, she turned to me as if expecting backup on how ridiculous this all is. I gave her a raised eyebrow that was supposed to communicate, really lady, but I think she took it as, I know, right? Well, there's a small batch coffee place just there, points right next to us. I'm sure they could do you a latte. Yeah, but they're expensive. I want a free one. I'm sorry, I can't help. We just have regular coffee and hot chocolate. The choosing beggar stared for a while and then grudgingly accepted her coffee while complaining that they shouldn't be allowed to say free coffee if they didn't have lattes because any reasonable person would expect lattes. Listen, Karen, we don't have lattes. I don't know what you want from me. Shake my head. Choosing beggar tries to return an item that is 4 years old. I run a small appliance store in a small town, and today one of my cashiers came to me and said a customer became enraged about our return policy of 30 days. The customer began shouting and screaming for help, so I approached her. Yes, ma'am, how can I help you? I want to return this, but the girl was rude and said I couldn't get my money back. Receipt is from 2016. It is January 24th, 2020. Ma'am, we have a 30-day return policy. I bought this appliance for $100 and I don't use it much anymore, and I want to return it and get my money back. Here on the receipt and on our website, it shows that you have 30 days to return your item if you do not like it. Choosing beggar becomes enraged and starts foaming out of the mouth yelling, I want to speak to your manager. Yes, ma'am, owner speaking. If you want, you can sell your item online to a friend, but we do not accept back items that are past 30 days old or broken. Choosing beggar used a debit card, and if I were to give her anything back, it would be a store credit, and she refused my kind offer of giving her $100 back on store credit and demanded cash. This is why you are going bankrupt, because your customer service sucks. If I give you $100 for a broken item you used for 4 years, then I'd be giving away money and going bankrupt because of you. Have a good evening. Choosing beggar walks off wailing and screaming that we are a ripoff, and screaming that no one should buy small appliances from us. So this is a first, of all people and returns. Yikes. Karen, I don't think anyone's gonna take back an item 4 years old, especially if it's broken. Deaf person approaches us for food but doesn't accept anything other than $20 or more. So me and a friend of mine that knows sign language went to McDonald's for some lunch. We decided to do a mobile order because we were in a hurry. We pull up to the curb, tell them we have arrived, and receive our food. Shortly after starting to eat, a man approached our car and showed us a card. The first thing it said was, hello, I am deaf. This is the conversation in sign language that followed. Key, DG, deaf gentleman, F, my friend, me, well me, friend. Are you deaf? Deaf gentleman responds with the sign for yes in ASL instead of shaking his head. That sign is a knocking gesture. From this response, friend was certain he was actually deaf. Friend, okay, how can I help you? Deaf gentleman, I'm very hungry and I don't have enough money to buy food for my family. Friend, well, I have $10, so the least I can do is buy a $10 bundle here at McDonald's. Does that help? That bundle consists of 2 cheeseburgers, 2 10-piece nuggets, and a medium fry, which is actually quite a steal. Deaf gentleman, sorry, but I can't accept anything lower than $20. Friend, I'm sorry too because all I have is $10. The bundle really is the best way to go for this amount. Deaf gentleman then pointed to the Golden Corral across the street from us. I was hoping to take my family there for dinner. I'm sorry, but the least I can do is give you $10. What about your friend? Does he have anything to spare? Of course, friend had to tell me what he said like an interpreter because I don't know any ASL. Me, tell him I have $5 to give you. Friend tells deaf gentleman what I said in ASL. Deaf gentleman, that still isn't $20. You guys are probably having more trouble than I am. Have a good day. Deaf gentleman was clearly trying to guilt trip us. After waiting for us to possibly change our minds from the attempted guilt trip, he then left and walked across the street. Overall, it was a pretty interesting encounter. I don't know whether to feel bad for him or not. He was deaf, but I feel like he was exploiting his disability for money. However, I hope he does well in the future. Well, Chief, you were offered a $10 McDonald's bundle. That sounds really good to me. Waitress assumes we're tipping in coins, refuses to let us leave a 20% tip in paper bills, and kicks me and my friends out of the restaurant. Okay, so the story happened in 2011. I was 14. I went out to lunch with 2 of my friends at a local restaurant. It was the kind of place that was really casual, but still a sit-down restaurant. It was one of our first times eating out without our parents, but we all knew restaurant etiquette. The actual meal was uneventful, but things took a dramatic turn when we started to pay the bills and a tip. None of us had debit cards yet, so we were paying in cash. We all put cash down for the bill, and after the waitress came back with our change, we began pooling the rest of our money to leave a 20% tip. After paying the main bill in cash, one of my friends and I only had coins left. I had around $4 in change, and my friend probably had around the same amount. My other friend still had enough in paper money to cover the entire 20% tip. So she was going to take our coins and leave the bills instead. Simple enough. Well, my friend and I began counting out our change at the table to make sure we were all contributing the right amount. Suddenly the waitress sees what we're doing and comes over to our table. At this point, my other friend hadn't gotten her cash out since we weren't ready to leave, so there were only coins on the table. The waitress starts screaming at us about how she didn't want to tip all in coins and that it was very disrespectful for us to be leaving that as a tip. We tried to explain that we would be tipping in bills, we were just counting out how many coins we needed to give our other friend first. She wouldn't listen to us or let us speak and just kept screaming. She actually said that getting no tip at all would be better than getting a tip in all coins, then kicked us and our coins out of the restaurant before we even knew what was happening. She kicked us out of the restaurant so fast we didn't even get a chance to leave our final tip. She actually made us take our coins with us, so she ended up with nothing. I get how annoying it is to have several dollars worth of coins on you, but she didn't even listen to us or let us finish getting the money together. Looking back, I wonder if she thought as young teenagers we didn't know how to tip and were going to shortchange her. That wasn't true. There were also no issues during the meal, we weren't loud, messy, or disruptive, but still. If she had just waited for us to finish or calmly asked us about the coins, none of this would have happened and we could have left our tip as we planned. Yeah, that's kinda your fault, Karen. Maybe be a little more patient next time and you might get your tip. Free chips still isn't good enough for some choosing beggars. I've worked years in retail and have seen many choosing beggars, but one instance that stood out to me the most was the incident where I was the customer. I was in my local chip shop. I happened to know the owner, a really lovely Turkish woman who took over the shop from her ex-husband who was running it into the ground. She's very kind and generous, especially in chip portions. I'd gone in one afternoon after an exam as a treat and was waiting as no one was behind the counter when I see the owner walk in from outside using the customer entrance. She walks past and gets behind the counter with a clearly homeless man following closely behind who stops and stands next to me. She acknowledges me, says she'll be a moment and starts putting some chips in a bag when the homeless man looking at the glass and sees a large piece of cod and goes, "Oh, that fish looks nice. I haven't had fish in a long time." I can already tell what he's angling for, but he doesn't outright say it, and the owner continues to shovel in the chips and grabs a large jumbo sausage. All the while, the homeless guy is saying, "Oh, that fish looks really nice." The owner then put the sausage in the bag and throws on the salt and vinegar and proceeds to hand it to the guy, and she says, "Enjoy." The homeless guy then asks, "Can I have the fish instead?" The owner was stunned but says, "No, sorry, this is all my manager allows." The homeless guy grumbles saying, "I really wanted fish." But the owner sticks to her guns and says, "That's all I can give." He reluctantly takes it and leaves. Once he's out of the shop, she begins serving me, but not before saying, "I can't believe some people. I won't bother again." Oh man. Buddy, you're getting free food. Come on, she didn't even have to give you anything. Why do people suck when they eat at restaurants? I've been working in hospitality for 10 plus years now, and I've observed a common theme. People wholly and completely believe they deserve more than they paid for if they happen to see there's a little left in a bottle I'm pouring from. I live in a country where alcohol is very expensive, NZ, and employers insist on mitigating costs by using every last drop of wine or spirit poured from a bottle. Everything is measured to a T, and sliding drinks is either kept strict track of or forbidden entirely. So when I pour 160 milliliters of wine into a glass and someone sees that 20 milliliters or so is left in the bottle, they'll say, "Go on, I can drink that," or the like. It really screws me off to no end. If you've paid for 160 milliliters of wine, mate, that's what you're friggin' getting. One particular despicable booger decided to pack a sad and very loudly because I measured a shot of Sol Gin and there was about 15 milliliters, aka a single shot left in the bottle. "Well, I can't believe he's going to leave that in the bottle," Karen mutters to her friend Sharon. I happily ignore this as I top her drink with soda. "Go on, mate, I'll finish that." She garbles as her third gin swings to and from. "Oh, are you paying extra?" I yell out, louder than her of course, so as to assert dominance. "No," she exerts, her face twisted into somehow even more disturbing car wreck than before. "Well then, never mind." I snug, smiling as I plunk the cork back in the bottle. Shaza let out a muffled laugh as she brought her hand to her mouth in an attempt to grab the sound of her pity and dragged it back into her throat. Karen, on the other hand, was not impressed. The car wreck turned into a train wreck and she was all like, "Wow," and stormed off. "Oh, okay, Karen, are you gonna be paying extra for that?" "No." "Oh, gotcha. Yeah, then it's not gonna happen." Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, smash that like button as it would really help me out. Subscribe to my channel so you guys can stay up to date with my latest videos, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.